Welcome back to another impactful episode of the PSTA Podcast. I am Craig King, your host, and I have a special friend with me today. And I know you're thinking it must be Patrick Kelly because Patrick Kelly is his guest every week. But I have another friend. You can't believe that Craig has more than one friend, I know. But we have Dr. Jeff Venables with us today, former PSTA board member and president. But before I just start rambling off all of his accolades, I'm going to give him a chance to introduce himself. But prior to that, Jeff, this is for you. That is for you, Jeff. That is for Jeff Venables, Dr. Jeff Venables. We're so happy to have you today. Jeff, how you doing?
I'm good, Craig. How are you?
I'm good. So tell our guests a little bit about yourself and what do you do and why you're here with us today.
All right. Thanks for having me, first of all. I teach chemistry and forensic science at Northwestern High School in Rock Hill, South Carolina, and have been there. This is my 29th year since 1995. I developed in the last 15 years a passion for personal finance.
Yeah. And
so I try to help as many people as I can in that area. And that's kind of what I'm here to talk about.
Yeah, that's great. So forensic science and now, so you said about 15 years ago you had this, I guess, nudge. Was it an experience that you had? Was it always something that you were interested in finance and numbers? So kind of talk to us about 15 years ago. What was it, an experience you had or a culmination of experiences that you had that kind of led you to where you are today?
Yeah. So, no, I was not always big into the numbers and the money stuff. But life experiences sometimes cause these things to happen. And so I went through a divorce and, as I did that, I decided, I figured out that I needed to figure out personal finance.
Yeah.
And so I jumped in, actually started with Dave Ramsey, learning through the church about personal finance. And then it's kind of blossomed from there.
That's awesome. So today, you are, learning all this information about personal finance. And I take it 15 years ago was something personal. And now you're at the point now where before we got on, you just want to impact and share with as many of our public servants as possible about understanding how things work when it comes to 403B plans, savings, retirement, and that kind of thing. So talk about where you are today and maybe some of the information you want to share with teachers so they know what to look out for.
Yeah, all of it, all of the above. I want people to understand about the retirement plan, the South Carolina retirement system or the optional retirement plan. I want them to understand the other avenues that they have available to them to build wealth, to prepare for a comfortable life after teaching.
Yeah.
And so, interestingly, I'm that much closer now to that life after teaching. And so, I've been thinking about that a lot for myself, and I want to help. I wish someone had been around 29 years ago when I started teaching that would have introduced me to some of the things about 403B plans and 457 plans and IRAs and Roth IRAs and all the things.
Yeah.
But also to help me navigate PIBA and the different options for benefits along the way and all of that stuff. And so it's all of that I'm interested in sharing with people and helping people navigate through.
So let's do a little role playing right now. I am Craig. I won't change my name because it's too hard to think of another name. So Craig is a first year teacher and he is overwhelmed with the stressors and the excitement of being a first year teacher, right? And the benefits day at his district, they're happening and they have these companies that have signed up to provide benefits that are supposed to help him as he grows in his profession and financially. But he's overwhelmed and he just feels like he needs to sign up for something because he wants to be able to retire one day. What would you tell Craig in that situation? I guess some tips that you would share with him.
So I would start by saying, Craig, it can be overwhelming. So take a breath.
Yeah.
But look through your options, look through your choices, because bad choices now can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars later. And so research all the things that are out there, ask for help if you need it, and then, come to the choices that are best for you, and find someone that's going to help you make the best choices for you.
Yeah. So you're in this financial space now, and you want to help as many teachers as possible. PSTA members, be on the lookout for information pertaining to some of the events that Jeff has coming up. But talk about, I think June, you have an event coming up where teachers can participate. So talk about that.
So yeah, I work with, I've gotten put together, I guess you could say, with some teachers in other states that are doing something similar. So they have kind of become the personal finance voice, if you will. And I said, well, we need one of those in South Carolina, so I'll try to do it. And they offer courses for teachers in personal finance. And it's specific. There's one in Colorado and one in California specifically that I'm working with, another one in Maryland, that do it for the teachers in their state, that they have, they understand how all the processes work and the retirement system and all that, and they present it as a course. And so they shared their course with me, and I took the course, and I took all the Colorado or California stuff out, replaced it with all the South Carolina stuff.
Awesome.
And so it's a course that's in the Canvas LMS, because that's what we use in my school district. And so I have the course is ready to go, and I'm going to teach it this summer to anybody that wants to take it, and it's going to be free. And I'm not trying to make any money. I'm not going to sell anything. I just want people to learn about personal finance.
That's great. So how can teachers, obviously our members, you'll have access to the registration link, but is there somewhere else they could go to find the information? Or I'll let you share it when we, before we sign off today, about how they can access that information.
Right now, the only place where they can access the information is going to be in the Thursday newsletters from PSTA.
Okay. All right. That sounds good.
I haven't put anything out there yet where people can access it publicly, other than people in Rock Hill.
Sure.
Because it's going to be in our professional development system, software system. But I can work on trying to get the word out.
No, it's okay. We'll definitely do our part. Jeff has, he was very modest in his introduction, but Jeff has been very instrumental in educating thousands of students in our state in a course that students may not typically have interest in. And so we are so appreciative of the service that he's given to not just public education, but Palmetto State Teachers Association. We also tapped him a few years ago when we had our commercial. I don't know if you remember doing that, but we just are so appreciative of you, and we're thankful for your heart to give back to teachers in this way, because we hear about the whole statement of teachers don't make enough money, right? The whole teachers don't make a lot of money. Teachers should be paid more. I don't disagree with any of that. However, I think when we can educate our teachers, our nurses, our other public servants on the different investment opportunities that they have for them to grow what they make into something bigger down the road, then we're in a better place. We're going to, when we talk about recruitment and retention, when we talk to a lot of teachers, maybe you've talked to some before, or potential teachers that say, hey, I don't want to go into teaching because of the money. And we can dispel that by saying, hey, if you do this, if you follow these steps, if you find someone you trust, if you ask questions, then you can have the life you desire to have while living the dream that you want to have by teaching students. So before we close out today, I promised Jeff that we'd be 10 to 15 minutes, and we're at 9 minutes. So I want to give our last statement to you before we close out. Anything else you want to share with our members or anyone else listening out there about what you're here to share about?
Yeah, it goes along with what you just said. I have a daughter who is Craig right now. She's a first year teacher, and she was a little overwhelmed with all the stuff, and I helped her with it.
Yeah.
And I helped her make the right decisions and the right choices. And so the people that I really want to talk to, that work with, are, no offense to people that are my age, but to the younger people, because you have time on your side.
Yeah.
And when it comes to investing and it comes to growing your wealth, the greatest asset that you have, the greatest ally that you have, is time. And so the earlier you can start, the easier it's going to be to accomplish your goals. And so anyone can go into any profession, including teaching, and you can, woe is me, and you can, the bills are more than the income, and that can happen. That happens to people that make $200,000 a year. It's not about how much you make. It's about how you compare your spending to what you're making and making smart decisions. And so you can go into teaching, and people are starting in teaching making a lot more money than we made starting in teaching when I started.
Yeah.
And it's all relative, but then you can, if you're smart with it, you can invest it well and make the right decisions for yourself and have a very comfortable retirement.
Yeah. Well, Jeff, thank you for your time today. We're excited about the impact that you're going to have on teachers across the state, and we're thankful for you saying yes to what you're doing. And so look out for that information in our weekly and biweekly emails and social media. It's been another impactful episode of the PSTA Podcast. I'm Craig King, your host. I will see you next time.